Hello and welcome to the first recorded version of the Woking Agenda update. I'm gonna try something a bit new and do both a recorded a video for YouTube and a written update on the Google site that I've been working on. So um yeah, you could take your pick on which format you'd rather pay attention to, but yeah, let's just crack into it. So this is the 2036-37 season update. We've finished the season now. Overall, a good season, a strong season. Um, Last year was a bit tough. I think we've managed a mid-table finish, which is fine. But it's not really what we would have wanted after finishing in the playoffs the season before. Um, this year had a bit of a rough patch maybe at the start. Didn't get off to the best start. Um, as I said at the end of the last update, we wanted to kind of up redo the tactics a bit. Work on those, and we did at the start of the season. And I'll go through those in a few minutes. But it felt like it didn't fully click at the start of the season. Maybe took a bit of extra time for the lads to get used to it, to get into the rhythm. We made one or two tweaks, and then things just seemed to click. So it was a strong end to the season, including a late push up into sixth to get playoff football. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capitalise on that and lost 3-0 on aggregate to West Brom. Um, and I streamed those two games, so they are available on my Twitch for a short bit of time, which I suppose I'll also link into the description of this video, because why not? A decent performance in the first leg, which we lost 2-0. Nowhere near as good a performance in the second leg, which we lost 1-0 to make it 3-0 on aggregate. Disappointing, but that's the way it goes. I personally think we probably aren't ready for Premier League football anyway. But playoffs is a fantastic result, and hopefully we can build on that and continue getting playoff football next year. We also made it to the fifth round of the FA Cup, where we lost to United, and the third round of the Carabao Cup, where we lost to Newcastle. So decent cup runs, but very tough opposition. So yeah, look, it could be worse. This is what I was talking about when I said start of the season, maybe not off to the best start. The new tactic that we used in preseason looked incredible. I mean, you can see here we're scoring goals for fun, 8-0, 4-2, 3-0, 4-1, and then just as soon as we hit the actual season, we've really struggled. So I think I made a few tweaks around here. Things maybe started to pick up a bit, and then fell apart again. And I tweaked it again here, in and around here in mid-December. And we then just had a fantastic end to the season. We only lost, what's that, 5 games after the middle of December, which is huge. So a solid showing. Couple of big losses in the middle there, like the loss to United really stands out. But it is what it is. The Carabao Cup loss to Newcastle, that was a tough one to take. 4-2, like, it was a solid performance, a fantastic performance. Went 2-0 down in the second half, pulled it back to 2-2, had already beaten Norwich, another Premier League team, on penalties. Really thought maybe we could hold out there, and then after I had made all 5 substitutions, Alawad our goalkeeper broke his collarbone. Um, so unfortunately, we conceded twice in injury time. That was an absolute killer. But proud of the lads. Think they did a great job. Overall, obviously disappointing end to the season, but overall, I think the lads did a great job. Um, the new tactic, which I'll just discuss briefly now, I suppose, we kept it pretty simple. You can see there's no real kept it 4-3-3, which we've been playing with decent success, obviously, since it's gotten us from the Vanarama National all the way up to the championship. We've kept it decently simple. Thompson, goalkeeper, no sweeping, just regular goalkeeper. That's fine. Ruthven and Marsh, starting central defenders again. Just set to defend, focused on hanging back. It's the wide players then. Chan as a complete wing back set to attack. So this 4-3-3 is our defensive shape. When we get the ball, Chan pushes up this wing. Martins is my starter right mid. Plays inside forward, so his role is to cut inside as Chan runs up the wing. Mensah on the other side is an inverted wing back. He'll cut into the midfield and add a body there as Emmanuel drops back. Emmanuel as a half back in central defensive mid drops back between the two central defenders to make essentially three at the back. Dempsey as a ball winning midfielder in centre mid sticks in midfield, so it becomes kind of a 3-2 with Dempsey and Mensah. Duffy pushes up as an advanced playmaker, and Nfunku keeps that width on the left, so he stays out wide. O'Sullivan then obviously gets into the box as an advanced forward and is the main goal scoring threat. Scored 20 goals his first season, only scored 4 last season. This season he's back up to 18, so definitely hopefully last season's just an outlier. We've given O'Sullivan a new contract, but fans weren't overly impressed and the board wasn't overly impressed. But again, I mean, 19 goals first season, 18 goals this season. Hopefully that 4 goals last season was just an outlier. So that's the tactic. That's the main aim of the tactic. Essentially, yeah, we do have, three in defence when we have the ball. Mensah in midfield, Dempsey in midfield, and then everyone else getting up to try and create those chances. We keep it pretty simple. It's based on, they know what to do based on their player roles. The second tweak we made, I did originally have regular passing, standard passing, direct distance and tempo, and I decided to change it down to shorter and slightly higher, which was working, but we gave the ball away way too much. I think the lads just weren't able for the increased pace, the tempo of the game that we were trying to run, and we made stupid mistakes. So dropped that back to standard and kept this shorter passing directness, and it's worked wonders. We're not giving the ball away as easily. Not as many stray passes as there were, which is exactly what you'd want to see. So yeah, I mean we can't really complain. We made a couple of additions to the side. A couple of them, most of them, like Chilvers, Wish, Singh, came in and went out on loan pretty much immediately. Dorney was a huge coup. Spent about a month and a half as a free agent after leaving United. We managed to pick him up on a free, and he looks class. He's wanted by a lot of clubs there: Birmingham, Luton, Sunderland, Utrecht, Celtic, Hearts. and he's valued at 7 to 8.5 million, 8.4 million. So if he wants to go, that'd be a huge profit for us. But at the same time, I'd be happy enough to keep him. He's only 23. He, in all honesty, could take that starting halfback spot from Manuel Emmanuel next year. Maybe the starting central defender role from Marsh. Um. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think I don't want to get ahead of myself because obviously he could be gone. If a bid from Utrecht or Celtic or Hearts come in, there's probably not a whole lot I can do. But fingers crossed we manage to keep him and he'll get a starting spot next year. Um, Massimiliano Draghi came in for 100k, more one for the future, but provides good depth at left wing. Currently, both our starters, or are not our starters, but the two players ahead of him are Brooklyn and Funku, who's 29, and Misson, who's 30. So we need to get some sort of depth in, and hopefully he'll provide a good job for the future. And then Mamadou Kamara, another one that's for the future. Brought him in January, hoped to loan him out, but I think we brought him in quite late and didn't have time to actually loan him out. So he has made a couple of appearances in the Cups, but definitely one for the future, one to keep an eye on going forward. A lot of loans out. A couple of the biggest. So the only really transfers were Hamilton left on a free transfer. He agreed a pre-contract last year, which is fine. Artem Bullivant, who was a backup for us, so when Middlesbrough came in and offered 1.9, possibly going up to 2.2, which it has, we jumped at the opportunity, and he's done well in League One. I think I hadn't been impressed with him when he was with us. I think maybe just wasn't his level. I liked the look of him at Stockport before. That's why we brought him in. Maybe League One is just more his level, which there's nothing wrong with. It could also be that he just didn't gel with us. That's fine. These things happen. It's not the end of the world. Hodgkinson then also left in January. 1.7. I think was happy enough. I think his time had kind of probably come as a Woking player. He had wanted to go out on loan the previous year, went out on loan. Mackenzie came in, did a fantastic job. Sebastian Chan obviously is doing a fantastic job. So there just wasn't really the space for him. And again, when Utrecht come in and like he wanted to move to the Eredivisie, I couldn't say no. So it's great to see him doing. Like, I hope he does well there. He was from our youth academy. I think he'd be a great addition to any team. So all I can say is best of luck to him in the future. Yeah, and I hope he does well at Utrecht. It looks like he's kind of not gotten off to the best start there, but look, you never know. You never know. That's all there is to it, really. One of the big things that happened with us during the year was we got new owners, which I think I would have thought I could see somewhere here, but yeah, the club was sold during the year. Went to can't even remember who. Some guy bought it. Nicholas Holbeck, and then put it up on essentially listed it. So it's now a public club. It's listed on the market, so fans can go and buy shares. But that meant that obviously it wasn't as good financially as some of the previous, touted names. There was an investor from Hong Kong, who was interested, who had said that he'd come in and invest 45 million for new players. Sounded too good to be true. Um, Obviously didn't work out. Would have been great though. 45 million would have been fantastic. From a finances point of view, we've done okay this year. Um, Obviously made about 4 million, I think, from solidarity payments. 4.8 million from solidarity payments this year is huge. That'll really help the bank balance. Um, and we've got a wage budget of 308,000 for next year. I'm not sure where that puts us on the. If I go to team details, I don't think we're last in salary per annum. No, we're 21st in salary per annum. We spend more than Swansea, Millwall, and Watford. Less than everyone else by not by a huge amount. Like we're close enough to Lincoln, but we're still well off the pace of West Brom, who we did lose to in the playoffs. And actually, to be fair, looking at that, they spend 70 million per year on salaries. Like it's very hard to compete with teams like that. But we're doing our best. We're getting up there, getting results, and at the end of the day, that's all I can ask from the lads. Um, Let me take a look at the. If I go to the best team for the year, best 11 for this season, not a whole lot of surprises, I don't think. Obviously, I was the main standout there is Robert O'Sullivan, who I pointed out, 18 goals in 41 appearances this year, a huge improvement from last year. Duffy also with 14 goals from 48 appearances. Now, a couple of those are penalties, but he did miss penalties as well. So yeah, like took five, or took eight, missed or scored five. Excuse me. So pretty huge. Uh, and great off. Like he scored 11 league goals last year, 12 this year. It's great to see that he can keep that up. Um, and it means that we don't just solely rely on Robert O'Sullivan or whoever we have up top, which is fantastic. Roundtree just misses out, scored 8. I thought his best position this year was probably this right wing position as an inside forward, which is very tough because Martins, who obviously made it in, I thought was very good this year. Lynch was more of a backup this year and did cover this midfield quite a bit, but also played a bit of this inside forward right wing role, and covers it very well. Now I'm surprised that Lynch makes it in over Dempsey, who I thought was very good, plays that ball winning midfielder role alongside Duffy. Think he does a fantastic job. Very happy with him. And then defensively, it's no surprise. Thompson, Chan was fantastic this year. Ruthven and Marsh have been our starters for past couple of seasons. Like Marsh has started. This is his fifth, 5th season starting. Since we joined the championship, and Ruthven's obviously been starting since we were in the Vanarama National. Back in 28, 29. So no surprises there that they make it in. That they're. I think the two of them are just a fantastic pairing. The only concern is age-wise. Obviously, Marsh is 29. Ruthven is 29. But if we can keep Dorney, Kamara, that's going to improve. We've got support coming in there, so that should be fine. Ali on the left back role, bit surprised at. I think like he made 29 appearances, 14 of them were starts, 18 were as subs. I think Mensah probably started most of those games at left back. And then when Mensah was injured at the end of the season and Forbes came in, two very young players, 24 and 22 respectively. But both fantastic players, huge potential, so very excited to see where they go. Misson played a good bit. I think Nfunku deserves that best 11 role, but Misson did have to play a good bit when Nfunku was out injured. Overall, don't think there's too many complaints there on the best 11. Um, if I look at contracts, and let's just see who's out of contract at the end of this season. Ali, who I think I'm going to let go. Like I said, Mensah and Forbes, two youngsters, really good footballers, very high potential. Think they're going to take that starting and backup left back slot. So I think it would be unfair to Ali to keep him around as the third placed at that position. I think he's a fantastic player, but we're paying him 9K per week, and that's too much to keep him sitting around as a third choice. 31, I'd say he can go out and still give a couple of more years. Misson, I think I'll re-sign. I still back up to Nfunku, really. Nfunku's fantastic, but Misson has done really well when he's come in to cover, so I'd be happy enough to keep him around as long as he's happy to stay as a squad player, as long as he's not expecting the start. And he is getting good game time, like 13 starts, 15 appearances off the bench in the league, 2 goals, 3 assists is decent. So he's getting the game time. Arman Singh, he's a youngster. He's been out on loan at Rotherham, and again, more one for the future. I'll definitely be re-signing him. He'll be a central mid cover going forward. I'm not sure if he's good enough to be in the squad next year, but look, with Harrison Armstrong, our current main backup, looking to leave, maybe he'll get some game time. Maybe I'll loan him out again to continue his development. And then Gavin Douglas is the last one. He's been my backup central defensive midfielder. I did over the winter look into maybe getting a better backup, but wasn't really much available over the winter. I think I'm going to let Douglas go, especially now that we have Dorney, who could play that central defensive midfield role, and that would drop Manuel Emmanuel to a backup, which, yeah. Look, I mean, he's only 23, Douglas is. He could go out and have a fantastic career somewhere else. He's been very good for us. I've been happy enough with him when he plays, but it's just, I don't think he's at the level we need him to be at just yet. So I think it's time to let him go and see what he can do elsewhere. So that's where the squad is at the moment. I think I'm happy enough with it. Obviously I'm always on the lookout to improve it, but with a transfer budget of 394,000, there's not a whole lot to be done. So it's really just trying to get out of contract players, players coming to the end of their contracts. There's a couple that I have on the short list that I'll be keeping an eye on. So we'll see what happens over the summer. Could be an interesting one. But yeah, generally, I mean, looking forward, I think it could be an interesting couple of seasons coming up. The board want us to continue finishing mid-table and then progressing to top half finish. I personally don't think that's ambitious enough. We've made playoffs 2 of the last 3 seasons. My own personal opinion is that we should be pushing for playoffs more often than not from this point forward. And I think it's reasonable. I think the players we have, the ability they have, it's definitely doable. My concern is that it may be an aging squad, and we're going to need to start bringing in some youngsters to boost that and make sure that we don't stagnate. Which is obviously going to be tough, but if we can do it kind of in stages, I don't think there's any reason why um, it should cause us issues. Like if I look at the squad, Alawad I think could easily take the starting role from Thompson. He's 24. He's got a lot of years going. We're paying him a lot more, and he's only our backup at the moment. I've been impressed with him when he plays. Chan and McKenzie at right back, 28, 27, have a couple of years left in them both. Obviously, left back, like I said, 24, 22. There's a lot of youngsters. That's very young left back position, which is good. Um, Central back, Ruthven and Marsh, 29. Couple of good years left in them yet. If we can keep Dorney, he's 23. He looks fantastic already. Kamara, high potential, only 24. A lot of hope there. Again, Dorney in the CDM position if we can keep him 23, but Emmanuel's only 28. That's not a huge deal. Centre mid, Duffy and Dempsey, 27, 28. That's not a problem. They're in their prime. Right mid, Roundtree, Martins, 20, 29. Luca Lynch is 30. But we've a couple of youngsters out on loan at the moment who could come in and do a job. I really like to look at Charlie Chilvers. Spent the year on loan at Torquay. 13 goals in League Two. He looks like he could be good. Can cover that. Mainly a striker, could cover that right wing spot if needs be. And on the left, and Funku's 29, Misson's 30, who we're going to re-sign, and Draddy already high potential, 22. If he can hit that potential, that'd be huge. And then up top, O'Sullivan's only 27, Roundtree's 29, and then we've got Ian Coyle, who's 24, who does look good. Poor year this year, but I think didn't get a lot of game time. Going to try and loan him out and see if he can develop a bit away from Woking. But yeah, he looks the business, and then obviously Chilvers as well, 23, coming back in on loan, high potential. So, yeah, I think it's a promising squad, maybe slightly on the older side, but we can change that over the coming years as things go, and hopefully, like I said, hit that playoff spot more often than not, and eventually progress to Premier League football. The jump, obviously, Championship to Premier League is going to be huge, but I think we're probably a while away from that yet. So, gonna try and not worry about it too much just yet. But yeah, that's this update of the Woking agenda. So let me know what you think of the video format updates. Any feedback, anything else you'd like to see, or anything you think was maybe irrelevant that didn't need to be included, do please let me know. But hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.